And we are live. All right, y'all. Y'all know how we do every Sunday between the hours of 6 to 8. We bring you the Northwest Austin Council. It's West Side people talking West Side things, and there's a whole lot to talk about. There's various ways that you can interact with the show. We got Facebook, the YouTube, and the Zoom. So choose whatever viewing option is most comfortable for you. If you ever want to be a guest on the show, we come right in with you and bring you to the stream yard, and you can have your face on the Jumbotron like ours is as well. And with the introduction over, nothing else to really talk about except for everything else that's going on. As Steve was opening with, it's pretty cold out there, so y'all stay warm. Condolences and prayers and blessings go to the Ellis family that just recently lost their building in the fire. The worst is that it happened right now while it's cold. So if support is needed, hopefully that family reaches out and gets the type of support that it needs. That's the whole purpose of having these community-based organizations and one another. We all community. So when these tragedies happen, we got each other to save. Nobody will save us but us.
They've been on Austin for over 45 years. They've been there since like 75 or something like that.
Yeah. So other than that, it's been a good week. Went out to an event yesterday in Austin. Went on a trip to Cancun. Didn't expect it, but I accepted. I got one more class left. Actually, I'm sorry, not one more class. I got one more week left for school. Tonight I got to turn in the paper at 11:59 that I didn't start on yet. So I'm jetting up out of there immediately after the show to go knock that on out. Then I got 2 more assignments left for my doctoral program. And after that, I'll be what you call PhD ABB, all but a dissertation. And you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to finish that dissertation by the time I walk across the stage in July. So, if you want to preempt the doctor and just start calling me Dr. Ruders, I accept it. You wouldn't be wrong. You'd just be early. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. Campaign has good forward momentum. If you didn't know, running for the 15th District Police Council. I think we have a really solid opportunity to become a part of the foundational group that is going to hold the Chicago police accountable. And being honest, nobody really knows what this is going to look like because it's the first time. And nobody knows what the first time is going to be like. But the thing that we can hang our hat on is that we're going to get in there with the mindset of doing a good job for the community. You can bet that you put me on there, I'm gonna do good work. And my hope is that the other people that get elected to that position alongside me come prepared to do some work and also to benefit the community in terms of building relationships with the Chicago police. And hopefully we don't even have to encounter situations where we got to hold them accountable. We encounter all situations where we're just building with one another. So, that's the goal, but it may not come to that. And if it does, then again, we are put in there to do the work, and we're going to do the work. So looking forward to that. And again, good forward momentum with that. I think it's important to note that we do have an upcoming forum for the candidates. There's 7 of us vying for this particular position. There's 3 people will be selected, and we're looking to host it here at Northwest Austin Council. That's 5730 West Division at 10 a.m. on December 17th. So I know some of y'all going to be out shopping, and then I'm just going to pop in and just see what we're talking about. This is important because it affects us all in terms of these police community relations. ECPS, Empowering Communities for Public Safety, is the ordinance, and that created the district councils that people like myself are running for. Other than that, quick notes. I'd like to always open up, Pastor Steve. Say what you got going on, Steve.
Well, as I was sharing earlier, one of the lone living families on Austin Boulevard on the north end, the Ellis family had a major fire at their property today, which is in the 1400 block of Austin. For those that were driving down Austin today, it was blocked off from North Avenue back to, I guess, Des Moines. No, Hirsch, if I'm not mistaken. But prayers out to the family. Hope we can find some support for them. I think it was 7 or 8 people that were displaced. And as I said earlier, they've been there since at least 75, 76, something like that. And, hopefully Well, I do know there were no injuries, other than the property is badly damaged. Other thing is, I was just reading and found out information about a serious accident that happened in Austin. It was actually near Cicero and Madison. There were, I think, 3 people died. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's 3 people.
3 people died. A car accident, shooting. A bunch of innocent people were shot. It's just terrible. Someone lost. Someone was decapitated.
Yeah.
In an accident. It's just was a terrible scene, terrible situation. Prayers also out to that family, because they said there were 2 Chicago actors. So I don't know what they mean by actors, if they were acting in some of the local films, or if they were in films that were done in the city before. There's been a number of films that were created in Chicago. So when they said that, they were actually saying they were young, they were black men. From the pictures that I saw, and I'm not really who they really are. We had a lot of questions about the city taxes. We're gonna jump into that in a minute, because that's gonna probably take up the whole segment tonight. But many of us, and many in Chicago, if you haven't received your tax bills now, or just recently, you will see that the number that you were used to looking at ain't gonna be nowhere near that. There wasn't a small increase, but in most cases, they've been triple and even double. So if you were used to paying $2,000 a year, you're paying $4,000 to maybe $6,000 a year, and it's a bad situation for those that can't take advantage of the exemptions. For the seniors, we just want to make sure that they are already locked in, and that their taxes are frozen, because we don't want them to have their taxes frozen in this state, and things are just escalating. But anything else you got, DeAndre?
Nah, I don't pay taxes yet. I still pay rent. Well, I'm looking to pay taxes next year, though. Y'all got some homes in Austin, roughly in about the area of Washington, the Chicago Avenue, Central to Austin. I'm looking to buy.
Well,
I want to be. You know what? We talk about this thing, how some of our elders they're getting up there, and they don't have anybody that they can leave that property to. I want to buy something like that from somebody. I want to run into one of them and say, I'm an Austin resident, Austin resident. I want to live. I want to be. This is reunification.
Right.
We talk about this idea of reunification. So my hope is that if y'all know somebody, again, I'm looking to buy between Roosevelt, Washington, Chicago Avenue, Austin, Central. If you know anybody in that that's looking to sell their home, let me know, because that's the area that I want to live in. Particularly, I want to live at near either Race or Midway Park.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes,
big properties over there.
That's what I want. I want a big property. I want to pay everybody. I want to act like the uncle on the grill that everybody can come and laugh and kick it with. I want to be able to build community in my backyard, because I do this for real. But I don't want y'all breaking my stuff, though. That's what I don't need, and I don't want.
Well, you said something about you don't own a property now, but I hate to tell you, those that don't have a lease, their rent going to be going up, because there's no way in hell with double and triple the tax, property taxes, landlords are going to stay with the same rent.
Yeah,
it's going to be.
Well, they can only do so much. Though. Yeah, they can only 30. What is it? 30%? I think.
I don't know.
It's not like you can't go so high that.
I don't think they even.
Not even 30%.
Chicago doesn't have really a cap.
No, it's a cap.
They created the cap.
That's a cap for sure.
When they create the cap?
I can't tell you when, but there's a cap.
How much? Like recently, in the last few years?
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
I don't remember there being a cap, because I know they had a group that was trying to create a cap, but shoot, all in all, I tell you, no. If the taxes go up, the rent's going up.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, the people that live in the people that own the building don't live there. They already paying, other taxes. And in some cases, a lot of it's going towards the school system.
Hey, I'm wrong. I apologize. It says there is no legal limit to how much a landlord can raise your rent in Illinois.
Yeah.
Illinois has a Rent Control Preemption Act, which was signed in 1997, that prevents cities from controlling rent prices. I guess the city from controlling rent prices on private property. It says for tenants, a landlord could theoretically decide to raise your rent by $1,000 once your lease term is up.
Wow, that $1,000.
$1,000.
Well, shoot, in some cases it still would be cheaper than New York. Average rent in New York is $6,000, and that's a 1-bedroom.
Oh yeah, see, we're gonna have to go on. Yeah, man. Well, I fully intend for this to be my last year. I'm ready. My lease is up in October, so I fully intend to have a home for my family and for gatherings. I like hosting people. I want people to come fill up the spot, man. Casa de Rudis. Yeah, come on, cool, y'all.
You shouldn't say that because
again, I'm cutting myself up though. I'm gonna have to pull that blicker do out. I got that blicker do.
Well, look,
I'm gonna chase y'all my property. Yes, I would.
Well, that's why you shouldn't say that because everybody's gonna drop in like that.
I'm gonna bring Hank out. Send you right back where you came from.
With that place.
Come on, man. Yeah. So has anybody experienced this yet? With this out of control rent?
Well, I know. You talking about the rent or the taxes?
Taxes, pardon. Taxes. I don't think nobody has experienced the rent.
Yeah, I had a couple. I had 3 calls from residents already. Derek Wright called me and he was kind of livid because Derek's a senior and he still didn't get his lock in.
Okay.
And he said that he reached out to the alderman's office a while back and turned his paperwork in, but they haven't. I don't know what happened. Why it didn't get processed? But for him, he doesn't have any kids. His kids are in their 30s.
Yeah.
And what have you? So I don't know. It's just a big shocker. But I did hear on the radio that they said the Latino communities, the property taxes were supposed to go up double or triple. And I didn't understand what that was all based on.
I see Diana is on the call. Do you know anything about that, Diana? Oh, reverb echo. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Let me see. Thank you. Let me see. We can't hear it, so we didn't know. Let me know if that's better. Let me know if that's better on the reverb echo. Is there echo on the YouTube? I mean, I'm sorry, not the YouTube, pardon. On the Zoom, do y'all hear echo at all?
No.
No? Okay. So it's just the Zoom. Okay, so let me know Zoom. I'm sorry. Let me know YouTube if there's still an echo. I don't know. I think it should be. I think I might have taken care of it. Okay, so I'll come back to it. But yeah, man. So I think one of the things that I remember reading is that the mayor. Say you talk, Steve.
Oh, okay. Testing 1 2 22. Yeah. It was just a radio announcement. I think just a few days ago, they had said that in the Latin community that the taxes were going to go up double or triple, which didn't make sense to me because if they're speaking of like Pilsen, I mean Pilsen is not really Latin community anymore. It's been gentrified, and you can understand why the taxes have gone up if it's been gentrified, because now many of those properties that used to be 300,000-400,000 are probably 600,000-700,000 to $1 million.
I've always struggled with this idea of gentrifying versus gentrification. I think gentrification is the after effect at which then people are priced out of their homes. I do think gentrifying, though, is raising the taste level of the community so that people experience a better quality of life. And I think when you do that, you're going to have an appropriate response, such as the raising of taxes and property costs. So my question is, do we not want gentrifying habits for our community?
Well, maybe.
What do you all think? How do you all feel about this idea of gentrifying a community? My people that's on the Zoom here.
Well, I was gonna say property taxes just to go up in Chicago. It was out in the suburbs too. My second installment is way higher than my first. So just benefit Chicago.
Yeah, it's the whole Cook County.
The taxes going up affects Cook, so it's a Cook County tax
Cook
hike.
County, yeah, it's definitely Cook County.
Oh.
Without a doubt.
I thought it was a Chicago thing.
No.
Yeah, like I was saying, I thought the mayor.
It's a Cook County thing because.
Say again.
Cook County, and it went up drastically.
Yeah, it went up dramatically, like you said. It's in some cases doubled or tripled, so to say.
I know, Steve, you trying to bring some folks in.
Yeah, somebody go ahead.
I'm
trying to
wait. So I do see Diana's phone. Are you here, Diana? I got Diana, I think, on the Zoom, and then I have Alex on the YouTube. So I just want to, I don't know. I'm just like confused. Hey, Mary, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, guys.
Hey. Yeah. So we were just talking about like these rent prices that have gone up almost triple fold. And Steve has gotten several calls from people in the community that have been talking about their bills, some of which have been seniors whose rates should have possibly been frozen out because of their age. And have you seen anything like that where your taxes have started to increase or anything? Mary?
Yeah, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. Yeah, I mean, and part of it is due because of that 55% increase that went into effect maybe like 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
For property taxes, when we get yeah. I mean, we can't blame it on COVID, but you know that 2 years and everybody being shut down and stuff, and it's like an avalanche now.
So I know that it's happening in Cook County. They just clarified it's happening in Cook County, but I know in Chicago that I saw that rent prices was going to be tied to inflation, similarly to how the aldermen and mayors, how you call it, their wages were tied to inflation. So I'm wondering, like, for the people that live in Cook County who are already experiencing property tax hikes, is that why Chicago's is now 3 times as much? And then the question would be, because I think if we're here now, I was trying to figure out what was going to be that political issue that somebody will ride the wave of. In the last election, 2019, it was the Laquan McDonald shooting. And again, I haven't experienced this because I don't have a house yet, but for those that are experiencing almost a triple raise in their property taxes, will this then be that issue that will drive somebody to become the winner of this mayoral election? That's the one thing that I'm always interested in when it comes to the higher level elections. What's that one thing that somebody can get behind?
You have to think about this.
Show themselves to be the winner.
Collects the taxes.
Right.
The treasurer, which Fritz Kagi,
yeah,
he wanted to come on the show a month ago. We were supposed to.
Got to get him on now.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to get him on now.
He's the person that handles it for the county, and then you have to look at where's the money going. You know, where's the money that's being collected for the taxes? Where does it go? Because you can't just say it all goes to Chicago or it all goes to the parks or whatever. You have to really itemize who's grabbing it and what's the real reason. You know, you can't say the mayor said give a property tax hike.
Yeah.
You know, because all they do is set a budget. And that's to be looked at also, but come on. You know, you gotta really think about that. There's.
Hey, Steve?
Yes?
Can you guys hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Hey, Steve. So, Steve, just have Ernie Lucas's phone number. He does work with, he has an organization called Homeowners United, and we talked to legislators about the taxes, and we have been successful in getting some legislation. We've been, you know, waiting to see what the new taxes would be, and yeah, I heard that they're really high. But if you want to plug Ernie and Homeowners United at Northwest Center, that would be good because he's all looking for people to sit in with these legislators, to have these talks, you know, and show the impact that these taxes are having on us. So I just wanted to give people an option.
You know what? I knew it was someone else I was supposed to reach out to. That was Ernie, and I told him to call.
Give people an option.
Let me see if I can get him in.
So while Mary's on, and I know Dr. Orr was before I made the announcement, I wanted to bring attention because Mary is actually spearheading getting the candidates, and this is a sidebar, but she's spearheading getting the candidates together for the forum that we're having here at 5730 West Division on the 17th at 10 a.m. And I know Dr. Orr, what you all do with West Side Rising in the political nature would be, I think this would be, if y'all can make it, would be something that you all should be be at, because this is where we're introducing all of the candidates that's running for these district councils and trying to get people more educated about ECPS in general, so that we could be.
So you having a district council candidates forum on what day? December 17th? December
17th at 10 a.m. here at Northwest Austin Council.
So I got to get the information so we can get it out, because this is in line with what we're doing. We're going to have a candidates forum in February, the 2nd, but it's mayoral.
Okay.
And we want collaboration is the best thing, and I think that's where we failed at, is being united on one front without being co-opted against each other, or just I'm doing this, I'm doing that. That's been, some people say yes, segregation was good for us, but I think in the long run, segregation helped us be more divided, because we don't have a common effort. Some of us like the benefits of we're integrated, we're this, we're that.
Yeah.
But we can't come together on nothing. So it would be great if we could support you guys and you guys can support us.
Okay. Can I connect you? Do you know Mary Gardner?
Maybe, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think we've met. Certainly, we'd love to have you guys come and collaborate with us. We can redo the flyer. We can add you to the flyer, whatever it takes because just listening to what Dr. Orr said about the leadership, I think it is this opportunity that will be faced with to elect
I think it's that one. Let me see.
Be a part of the community board office, but they're going to be our voice in that room. And this is a new thing. It's exciting, and that's what other people are interested in it. So what we're doing with the partnership of Norfolk Austin Council NAC is we're saying to the community, listen up, we need to come and meet these people because they're going to be on the ballot February 28th. They are going to be on the ballot. So if you vote or don't vote, you're voting. Somebody's making a decision for you. So we wanted the 15th to say, listen, here are these 7 individuals, couple I'm familiar with, some I'm not, that are huge. And there are also other things aside from, of course, the all race and the automatic races. There are even some referendums that are going to be on that ballot in February. So it's, again, it's going to be a busy day, February 28th. But it all begins at home for us. And our theme is "It's about us." On the 17th, so that we can run. I'm excited. We've got Frank Chapman, one of the original defenders and activists, that is going to be our moderator, one of the experts, along with Doug and Yancy, that kind of brought the conversation to the city council and stuff. So I'm excited to just have him be a part of that, to be our moderator on the 17th as well. So I don't know if I knew how to upload the flyer in the chat, I would, but we can.
Well, you can. I don't know. You can. I'm gonna put my email in the chat. Oh, I don't know what that is. And both Westside Rising and my personal email and my cell number. We can reach out. DeAndre and Steve both have them. You are welcome to use it. I think working together, it makes us stronger.
Absolutely.
All the way around, and having authentic unity, I have no idea. Authentic unity with one another is really, really key to us turning things around in our community. So,
yeah, I do think too. I know you mentioned, Dr. Orr, about having a mayoral forum. Austin Coming Together is also planning one. Now, I don't know if we want to make. Okay, so you trying to combine those efforts, or how does that?
I'm not even. They knew about ours, so
okay.
I'm not going.
All right.
I'm not approaching that because
okay.
They get all of our emails, they get all of our correspondence, and that's all I'm gonna say.
I got you. Yeah.
I would love, like I said, we have to work better together. So we've been planning ours since August, September.
Oh wow.
And right, so they knew about ours.
Right.
They know, and we are very transparent and honest with what we do. It doesn't mean that we won't support theirs. I'm cool with whatever, but we all, this is just how our communities work. And sometimes it works for disservice. Sometimes it works to help build. However that work out, I'm just going to roll with it. Because I did feel that it could have been a conversation to join efforts, which is what I preferred.
Right.
But, I don't know. I have no answers for that. I have no thought processes for that, not strategically, not on any other level. I don't understand it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to support any of them that come through, that's going to benefit our communities. But again, we're stronger together. And sometimes larger organizations that get the money, they do that. And I understand they have to have deliverables for their grants too. So it's what it is.
No, it's interesting. So right now I'm in my final class for my doctorate, and I was just writing about the assignment that I had to write about is system archetypes, and one of the archetypes that I mentioned is it's called the tragedy of commons, and it's basically what happens when there's a common pool that each individual pulls from. The beginning may see individuals being able to accomplish, but as you continue to work from that same pool, at some point, somebody is going to go for lack, even have to shut down because you can't keep pulling from the same pool. And I always, for class, use everything that I do in my personal life. And one thing my professor continues to tell, hey, keep telling these stories. She's like, I love reading your posts because you always interject the community work you do and your life into it and everything like that. And it's always real. And so I wrote about how nonprofit organizations, the larger ones, continue to drain the pool, so to speak. And then I say when they drain that pool, they go into the pool where the smaller guys play, and now they don't even have the same mission that they began with because they done co-opted and tried to move into a different resource pile, which then takes from the other people that was already in the pool. So now there again, we have the tragedy of commons. Everybody is in the same common pool again. And of course, as I put stuff like that, people have to ask. They ask me, "Well, what would you do? What would you do?" And I said, I've brought this up several times. I said, the small organizations, they need to get together and create more of a multinational type of structure. Multinational is when you have uh, businesses that work in other countries. Now, I just said multinational structure because it's easier to think about when you work in different countries. That means a lot of different types of cultures and aspects that you have to meld together to form one giant conglomerate. And for me, working with so many different small organizations, I see an opportunity for all of us to bridge the gap of working with one another and being able to utilize what we do individually more collectively, especially as it relates to our response to public safety, for example. I think all of us have a say in public safety, even if we are working in a political realm, because we know that public safety is still affected by politics. And so I said that because once you become a larger organization, you have another pool to pull from. And the thing about it is, I feel like when you are small organizations, people benefit greater from it because the term could be, it's more grassroots, but because of it, there's more of a closeness, and you don't feel like just another number. You feel like a actual person that's being serviced because smaller organizations can work with you all the way to the end. Larger organizations put you through and connect you to this person and to the next person and to the next person. And if those people aren't the whole hand holding type to see you through to the end, then you get lost in the mix. And that's okay because it's good for their numbers, but it doesn't ultimately provide dividends for the community. And so for me, I'm like, at some point, we got to get to that point where we can take 8, 9 small organizations that have nowhere but 2 to 5 people involved that's only getting $50,000 to $100,000 here and there to then join forces and become a larger organization capable of pulling in $5 to $10 million to work collectively in some of these issue areas of the community. And I think that when we can show that that works, that model, then other people can adopt it. But until we start to show that it actually works, then it'll never work. Somebody got to be the catalyst. I keep saying, let's put it together. At some point, but then the last piece I'll say, then I'll turn it over. I also wrote that while I would love to see that happen, when I do bring it up, the first thing that gets brought up is who gonna hold the purse strings? I'm like, man, well, there we go. Back to square one. I don't know. I don't know.
That is one of the biggest problems. That is a very problematic issue for us. I do believe that smaller organizations, they are really the cusp of what actually hold communities together with churches. And then even on that, you have to look at some churches the Christians don't even live in a neighborhood, they're just there. Some churches only come and they hold services and they never go outside those four walls
right,
to serve the community. So, but they are still dominant in our communities.
right.
And if we do not require responsibility, then that's on the community.
Right.
But back to your point, and then I have to sign off. But I want you guys to know that, like I said, we're going to support whoever's everything. But ours has been on the table, and we've been openly communicating with people since August, mid-August, probably before then, but I'll give it a benefit of doubt. And I do find it interesting that there is no thought or no need to have a conversation and say, let's join our efforts, number one. Let's have a maximum impact, number two. So it's interesting to see how it'll play out. But again, we're always open to work with every organization, but we do have, as everyone knows, we are deaf on authenticity, transparency, responsibility, accountability, trust, and building relationships with people. Now, I can't say that everybody that comes to the table has those values, but we are really firm about those things because these are the challenges in our community and how we get co-opted all the time by each other, which is interesting, but, we just got to keep doing the work,
Yeah.
So with that being said, everyone's invited. My information's in the chat. This is a challenging time slot for me, but I love these dialogues and conversations. You guys keep doing what you're doing because it's awesome, and the dialogue is very much so needed. It's a lot of organizations that's doing great work. ACT is one of them. Build is one of them. And then Northwest Austin Council is one of them. A lot of smaller groups are doing a lot of good work. But we need to figure out how to work together so that we can have power. But then some people want to be the gatekeepers. Some people want to be the power brokers to say, I control this, not control that. And in the long run, it just benefits them and a few, and never really the community. So, and that's just my perspective. So,
well, let me just say this. I just think you have to have that. We got to start building those relationships, good, bad, or indifferent. We got to learn so we can know where we are and what we need to do. Because I know they have the ACT has that. What is it called? Engagement group.
Yeah, civic engagement.
Yeah, civic engagement. Yeah, and I'm a part of the email list, and I've gone to a couple of them, and they were just doing numbers for the events. The last one I went to, they were doing numbers from the events. But hey, like I said, I can't. I don't know. Well, we just gotta find ways to work back together.
Well, don't feel this what's the word I want to say? Disappointed because
I'm disappointed with her. Well, I'm tired of these folks.
No, because you know what? Why can't we have multiple? I've always seen when it came.
No, it's enough room. It's enough room for everybody. No, I want you to be clear. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to just be mine or theirs or what. It's enough room for everybody. My thing is that what's the objective? If the objective is really to say we want to have an impact and let them know that we're moving people together in a mass mobilization to say we have power, then yes, we need to come together.
Right,
but
right.
if the objective is having a candidates forum, say we having a candidates forum because it's a good thing for us to do, it's a good flex for us, whatever, then that's a different thing. I think there's enough room on the west side and in any of our communities in this city, but it goes back to the ultimate goal. Are we really trying to do impact, life-changing, systemic changing impact, or is it pick mark?
Outcomes.
I'm not disappointed. I do wish it would have been a conversation because I'm sure they got a better budget than we got. You know, I'm sure they got a better budget than we got. Ain't no who wants to be strained and trying to pull together something like that. But Malone has been a great partner, you know.
But at the end of the day, I always say it doesn't go from the hierarchy; it goes from the people, and the people are the ones that vote. If you can attract just enough people to get the message across, you've done your job. Because I've seen in most cases with the bigger groups, they attract all the people that sit at the table, and then it's like, but where are the people that are voting? You got 20 people in here, but there's 20,000. There's 20,000, yeah, and most of them can't even vote because they don't live in the city. Problem, but the 20,000 are the people that we need to be really impacting, you know, and bringing together and creating power if that's the case. But again, I think we got to look at the basics. Can we register people? Once you register them, you just want them to vote. If they vote, you're hoping they're voting the right way. You know, things like that. But you got to look at the grassroots. Like I said, everything is grassroots.
And they have been registering people. They have been working on registering people too. So, you know, everybody's doing a piece. So, hey,
I think that December 17th is a great opportunity to just move forward with the collaboration.
Right.
We'll get a chance to meet each other. And you know, I would, because I think it's important, the candidates that are running across the city, but more, you know, specifically, we're focused on the 15th district and even our neighbors 25, because there are a couple of people that I know that are running in the 25th district. But it begins at home, and I look at December 17th as starting at home, and also we're doing this at NAC. You know, so there's so much history, there's so much power, all of that right there, and we're moving ahead. You know,
that's right.
It's gonna happen. You know, we're still young. I still need to be able to contact the other candidates, but we've got it on Facebook.
I went out. Pardon me. Sorry. You go ahead. I'm sorry.
We started pushing it out, and we've got the expert extraordinaire, the OG, Mr. Frank Chapman. I mean, this is a man that has lived it. Lived abuse and has now writing law or was part of this thing becoming law. So we're gonna have him. We're gonna bring him back because he wasn't in the studio when he did the show, but we're gonna have him on the west side. That Saturday.
It's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a goodie.
You know,
it's gonna be a goodie.
A few little surprises for folks that, you know, make that exception for us and show up at 10. We talked about, you know, just trying to share some holiday cheer for those that are going to show up. But I did send you the information. I hope you see it. And, you know, you can contact me from there. But, yeah, this is a community-driven public candidates forum. And I'm looking forward to hearing from everybody. Because I think DeAndre's gonna bring his game face. I think Karen Winters is gonna bring her game face, and there's another gentleman on there, Mr. Newsom, and
there you go.
A couple other folks. I can't.
Otis, I got you. Otis Johnson. Carmelita, Constance, Alina. Alina Thompson.
I think that's going to be just a great thing to present.
Yeah, I think so too. Look, I gotta sign off, but please feel free to call. I'm looking forward to the call Monday, probably Monday evening. Also, we're having our end of the year soiree
7961
on the 8th, Thursday. This coming Thursday. Everyone's invited. It's at 6:30. We will be on time because we're going from 6:30 to 9:30. We have food and music and raffles. Everyone is invited. It's at 3020 West Carroll. It's a troop facility. It's a beautiful facility. I hope to see you guys there. Please come.
I was asking Steve, why did everybody pick Thursday?
Getting the Community Impact Award.
Why did y'all all pick Thursday? Everybody has everything going on Thursday, though. What is it up with Thursday?
Thursday is usually a good turnout day, but I don't know what else is going on.
That's what it is.
Man. Well, I mean, a lot.
Thursday is the turnout. It's the meeting day.
Okay.
It's during the week that most people can actually get out.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Well, send me some of what's going on so I can know. But I just that's what it is. Hopefully you can make it. If not, send a video. You know how we do.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys.
Likewise. But yeah.
All right, Dr. O.
Miss Drummond will be getting an award also.
Dope.
For those that
yes, Community Impact Award.
Super dope. That's super dope.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm looking for you guys. And all of that means everyone on the line and anyone watching, you all are welcome again. It's 3020 West Carroll, 6:30. Let me see, how do you say 3020? I'm going to put it in the chat.
6:30. December.
Yeah, I just, you know what, I got that call off of YouTube, Mary, and I actually put the number into the chat on YouTube, so they may call in. I try to monitor the messages that come in on YouTube as well. And I also wanted to say too, so I reached out to all of the candidates outside of Elena. Yeah, Elena was the only one I haven't reached out to. Everybody else has the information. In fact, Arewa, she then took the Google form and she sent it. I know I have it individually, so I'll forward that too, because I know the information is on the flyer, but I'll make sure that they even have that link. So I sent it out to all the other candidates except Elena, but I have her stuff because I looked at her petitions. So I have her information. I'll send it to her too.
You working with Arewa? Arewa is awesome.
Yeah. Me and Arewa have already decided that we slate mates. So if anybody else want to rock, then they rocking. But me and her, we it's 2 or 3 so far. So I don't know what everybody else gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she cool people. Okay, I gotta go. But thanks,
all
guys.
Right.
Okay.
Give the date again, the date and time for the event.
Huh?
The date and time for the event.
Yeah, here you go right here. I'll say it. So it's 3020 West Carroll, 6:30 to 9:30. It's the West Side Rising Holiday Soiree. That is December 8th, 2022.
It is a registration link, but I'm gonna send it out. But everybody just come or let Steve and DeAndre know. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, that's cool. That's like I said, I'm gonna be bouncing around. I got a lot of Thursday, but the 9:30 stop time makes it easier for me to be able to attend at least later. So that will work. I believe that'll work for me. I definitely got some things to move around to. Yeah.
That's what's up. Let me give you a second. I'm gonna put this registration link in here so everyone will know. And they can register. It's just so that we can have a decent amount of food and enough for people. And I'm excited because it's a collective effort from the partners, and people are really contributing and participating. So I'm excited about it, actually.
That's
Now, of course, I'm tired, but
right.
you know, that's how they go. That's how they go. You know.
When you put the work in, yeah. It's like that.
Yeah. There's everything. Thank you guys. I'm
All right.
must sign off.
All
But I
right.
appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work, everybody.
All right.
All right,
Enough
Dr.
room
Laura.
and enough work. Whew.
We got plenty out here, as you said. All right. Talk to you
Yeah.
later.
Okay. Bye.
All right now.
So now we were touching base on the taxes, and I think Derek said he was going to come in, but I don't know what happened.
Okay.
You know, the taxes are looking pretty ugly. We're looking at, in some cases, double to triple the amount of what you used to paying. People that were, again, I know people that were used to paying $2,500 a year are now looking at about $5,000, $7,000 a year. And hopefully you are able to get a tax exemption, a senior exemption, where you can actually lock your taxes in based on the year that you became a senior. This may not be the right time if you are a senior trying to lock it in. But just thinking about that and saying that, if taxes have gone up like that just immediately, what's going to happen 10 years from now? 5 years from now? Are we going to be looking at, double-digit taxes per year in Chicago and in communities where it's never been anything like that? And then the other side of the coin is, if taxes are going up in Chicago and some other areas, what is it going to look like in Oak Park? I mean, their taxes are already $16,000, $18,000, $20,000 a year in a lot of Oak Park. So you're telling me that those communities are going to go up to double? If you're doing 16, now you're at 32, or let's just say from 16 to 28 or 26. How are those communities going to deal with that boost of inflated taxes? Anybody got any comments?
You know what? I'll start. I think we have to try to create a space where this subject matter here of taxes and home ownership is something we talk about all the time, not just, when we get ready. Because this hit is coming, right? And I think it comes right before Christmas, right?
Oh, there are.
Somewhere around there?
No, it's people received them just this weekend.
Okay, so the bill, so they're out. It's dropping. We just got, when I say we, I'm talking about community. Just gotta, I'd love to see a team, folks that, do that stuff like every day, like Wilbur Cook, I know has worked in the assessor's office for about 30 plus years out of 24. And just a team of people that just kind of, let's just start having this conversation. It's not monthly, quarterly, or something, Steve, so that we can get people, look, here's how this thing works. It's ugly right now because, it's out of control. We can't, there's nothing we can do with being homeowners, property owners, because, the system is what the system is right now. So when folks like Katie come on and start talking, let's just get some basic questions to him so that, we can grasp it. Because we got to stick with it.
Yeah.
Right.
People, even though they buy your taxes, you still have 3 years to you don't lose that property right away. But still, that goes with the stress. We possibly being embarrassed because, when that list came out, I was looking through it, trying to see if I saw some properties, if I recognized some stuff, because that's just what we do, right? But at the same time, that whole process of when they bid on it, when people pay down, and all of that, that's out of our control. So we just got to figure out how do we, jump on the ship because it's moving in rough waters.
Yeah.
Now, 2023, 2022, and start really kind of having this conversation on a regular basis, so that it's just not exhausted.
Right.
Yeah. I think also, like I said, even to your point with that is what I spoke about earlier, wanting to own a piece of property in the Austin community and knowing that we have an aging community. Steve and I found that out 2 years ago when we did our whole 40 blocks in the movement piece, and the average age of individual that lived over from North Avenue to Division, Austin to Central, at least those that came to the door, were roughly 66 years old. And that's obviously retirement age. And even as I was doing my own petitioning, I come across some seniors who either was like, well, I'm ready to go to my retirement space, or I don't have my daughter doesn't want the property, or my niece and nephews, and so I'm looking to move. I said, well, who you gonna give it to? And that could be anybody. So I think along with those conversations, we have to start teaching our community how to protect itself if in fact we want to continue to see the community in the way that it currently is, which that's not to dismiss any type of um, uh, difference in it, right? And because we obviously meaning that there is more diversity in our community than we've had in the 60 years ago, so to speak. But at the same time, I do think people would love to see this community grow with the individuals that's right here versus us being displaced. Going back to my earlier comment of gentrifying versus gentrification. And so we need to, let's be more urgent about having these conversations. Um, what does the next iteration of the community look like? How can we keep and bring young people that want to be homeowners into the fold so that we can be homeowners, and then we take the reins and build up for our kids, as well as embracing the diversity that is on the horizon. And so we got to have some real conversations. I mean, obviously, that's what this was created for. Our goal is to continue to build this out so that we could continue to be a voice for our community. But y'all can help us by just letting somebody know. Tell them to bring them on, and have them add to the conversation too. You know what I mean? It's like a big gumbo right here. Everybody's thoughts and opinions add to the pot. You feel me? And then we have something stupendous at the end. So
let's look at previous generations. Okay, if you live in Chicago, go ahead.
Steve. Hazel passed away, right?
Absolutely.
And her sons put her house up for sale.
Okay.
Now they misled me and gave me the impression that they were gonna sell the house to my niece. But next thing I know, they had put the house through a real estate person online or whatever they do, and they put investors. And that Thursday night, we had 15 Latino contractors come in and look at the house, and they bid so much for the house, my niece could not afford what they were bidding for that house. This is a young person. He's trying to buy a house in Austin, in this community. So, we have to look at how the system is working against regular homeowners. Now, what these contractors are going to do, they're going to modernize the house and sell it for $300,000 or $400,000.
Right.
So that knocks any normal person out of house buying in this community. I mean, she said, we talked to the real estate agency, and she said she had 15 contractors who bid so much money. And money talks, so they're gonna accept the highest bidder, right? And they're all Latino. So I mean, they're kicking us out of the housing market here in Austin. The investors, they come in, they fix the house up, and they resell it for twice what they paid for it.
Now listen, is it that they kicking us out, or is it that we ain't got a whole lot of black folk that's contractors?
Right.
Because our people ain't trying to pick up no hammers, man. Not a lot of them. Now, I don't want to cast no aspersions on those that do, because obviously we have those as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But I'm saying if they're true contractors, I mean, we do live in a free market, you know.
Yeah, they could build it up and sell it. I mean, it's gonna cost more money, but you got to get your chips up.
But I mean, if they are true contractors, I mean, what do you tell a guy that's a contractor that he can't do business? But if he's just a person that's never pulled a permit, doesn't have what do you call it? A legal entity as a contractor or licensed and bonded, then that's the next move. You know, you just can't have people building things when they're not licensed. So, you know, what part of this is true?
I don't know if they're licensed or not. All I know is that they bid so high that a regular normal person cannot afford the house.
Well, again, if they bid so high and they don't pull permits and they are not licensed and bonded to do the work, then that's where a community and people with the right eyes are going to be able to let the right people know. You know, they gotta spend the money. You ain't gonna just get it, you know, for free. Somebody calling me.
Hello? Yeah, hello?
True, but that's a reason why normal people can't get these houses.
Hold on a second here. We got somebody on the call. Welcome to Northwest Austin Council.
Hi. I just wanted to say something. I was first time calling in. I like a lot of what you guys talk about. You know, I've been hearing a lot of different things, and I just want to kind of bring my perspective. I'm mixed, and I've heard a lot of things from all kinds of people, you know, especially when they don't know what I am. And I've heard a lot of things about gentrification, and I like that you brought up, you know, the fact that is it really somebody kicking us out, or is it just something else to it? What I think one of the main issues is the separation of the fact of, like, that there's a difference between us. You know, in my opinion, there's poor people, and then there's the rich people, you know, and whether the person's black, white, Asian, brown, or wherever they're from, India or UK, once somebody starts doing better, mining town, trailer park, ghetto, what you name it, when they do better, what do? They leave. And one of the reasons why, like, I have friends that live online all over the world. I have a friend in UK and Albania who pretty much are going through the same thing that you guys just talked about. It's just everybody so happens to be the same ethnicity. So this idea that gentrification, for one, even we have to talk about the language we use, but stop acting like gentrification is something that's racially motivated. Because again, when someone's black, white, whatever, and they want to go get a deal, they go find a place where the housing market is sound. We incentivize people to go into these areas, and again, no matter what color they are, when someone wants to try and get a deal on a house, they're doing the same thing that all these other people are doing. And the fact that we keep acting like just this casual, I'm just gonna say casual racism of like these people are coming in or those people are coming in. It's just not okay. Especially when you're going to do the same exact thing those people are doing when you want to go find a house. You know, one of the things I grew up military. My brother is probably darker than both of you guys, and he was a mechanic on nuclear stuff. I don't know about else, but the opportunities have always been there when you seek them, and nobody seems to say anything to people when they do get rich and they leave. How many we got, what is it, Chance the Rapper from here, right? If you Google right now how many of these people have money, they could come in and buy a property and lower the stuff. We keep at, like, there's so many, we were talking about taxes and stuff. There's people that could help us out with that, and they're not doing it. And I don't know. That's, I'm going to leave it there, but it's just a strange conversation to hear about gentrification. I've lived all around the United States, and it seems like everybody only has a problem with it, except for when they're doing it. So that's all I was going to leave it at.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm not mad at that. That was a good take. I agree with you. And I to the point where what Ella was saying, and what Steve was saying to bridge the gap is you can have individuals coming in to refurbish the property, but you could also have people that look like what the community is made of already coming to purchase that property, because the whole goal is to live where you can afford. And part of it is we got to be able to afford where we live. I think we could do a lot better in setting up our next of kin and our generation to be able to afford where they want to live, wherever that is. And I think we also do a very poor job of people that come from our community that become successful of really trying to reel them in and entice them to be here and build here. I mean, I'm about to be a doctor, Ain't no reason for me to live in Austin. Let's keep it a buck. I could make $150,000 right now and be bringing that into Austin. But what is the incentive for me to stand here and stay in Austin? To bring my child over here and rear her in Austin. Now, I could say we got beautiful gravestones. The people are lovely. And that's where I'm going to stop at. School system trash. Safety is trash. Extracurriculars is trash. And in most respects, the neighbors ain't even neighborly anymore. So if I chose to take my educated ass to another part of the country where I can get all of those things that I'm looking for, why wouldn't I? And why would I stay in Austin? That's the question.
But if you go to another part of the country where you make the same amount of money, that's the other part.
We'll figure that out. I ain't worried about making no money.
That's the part.
I ain't worried about making no money.
It might be equitable to wherever you go, but it might not be equitable to where you came from.
Say the incentive is to build a community. I agree. And that's why I'm choosing to live in Austin and raise a family here, because this is where I'm from. And I want to build community. The question is, who wants to build community with me?
Well, if you
can't be in that by myself.
Well, if you look at what's happened over the last 20 years with the closing of all of the housing projects, now those are prime lands.
Yeah.
Know?
Right.
Everywhere there was a project, even like the Ickies, that's where they want to put $120 million
the school
for Chinatown.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, $120 million.
Yeah.
When you already got high schools right near anybody. I mean, why $120 million in the previous location of the project?
Because they can afford it.
Well,
but that's an incentive, though. You know that $120 million school is state of the art, though. I mean, it might be crappy CPS education, but at the end of the day, that's a state of the art school. Your child gonna be able to probably go take band and ROTC and possibly swim and do all the other stuff.
Well, where are you coming from?
Well, no, I'm just talking about in general. If I wanted to go live amongst in that community, right? Right, but I'm saying that's still an incentive, at least educationally.
But you ain't gonna live in Chinatown.
No, I ain't trying to go live in Chinatown. But I'm saying for them. But what I'm saying is bringing it back to Austin and incentivizing how to, outside of building the community, because I agree, building community. But for me, proper community is composed of a good school, a good bank, a good supermarket,
Right.
right? And well, I'm missing one more. It's only 4.
Got a park.
Oh man, nah. It's a community is made up of. I don't want to say church. I don't think it's a church, but I mean churches, But it's school, it's bank, it's supermarket, and I'm missing one. I'll figure it out. But if we could build to me, building community means having those 4 facets in order to have a great quality of life, not only for myself but for my family too. So I'm saying that to me, having seen the fact that knowing that a $120 million school is going to that particular part of the city, if I chose to want to live there, that would be an incentive for me to go there. So when I'm talking about bringing it back to Austin, what is my incentive to live here?
Well, right now it seems like affordable housing, good affordable housing. But my point to Chinatown was you ain't going to Chinatown because they ain't gonna let you move into Chinatown.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we don't have no vacancies. It's gonna be like that. And again, my question is why when you got a Dunbar right there, you got a few high schools right in that area already. Jones Commercial, right down on State Street. You got quite a few high schools that just to say you're going to build a $120 million school and you only have 20,000 people living over there, in a community that's not even a whole ward. So, I'm just saying that to me is one of the things. And then if you go a little further down State Street, past IIT, the former Robert Taylor homes, they built those properties over there are all condos and townhomes. So, yeah, free market. I know a guy that rents one of his properties to the students at IIT. But it is what it is. The communities have changed, and what is affordable for those of yesteryear may not be affordable for those to come.
Right. Yeah.
But back to your point, I'll go back to the Teflon line again. There's a Teflon line down the middle of Austin Boulevard. How come everything that you said you wanted in the community is all in the community less than 10 feet away? Less than 10 feet away across Austin Boulevard.
Them taxes higher though.
Well,
we're talking about high taxes. Them taxes higher.
Yeah. I mean, average taxes in Oak Park probably about $16,000. Average.
All right, bet. You know what? I had to look it up. So the 4 things that we need to form a proper community is a bank, a school, a hospital, and a grocery store.
Yep, hospital.
That's what I meant to say. Hospital. Wasn't the church, the hospital. Now, if you told, again, Austin, we got the Loretto Hospital. Come on, man. Come on, man.
We used to have St. Anne.
Yeah.
We used to have.
Ain't good enough.
What was it? Not Bethany. What was it called before Bethany? It was one in Garfield, West Garfield. I think was a hospital.
No, I'm talking about Austin. I'm talking about the incentives for people that become successful to move here. Because I'm reflecting on what the caller said. I really want to, because his point was there are people that get rich and they are going to buy where it's most affordable, even if those individuals are just going to do some investment, because it's most affordable there. Anybody, no matter what color they look like, are going to purchase where it's most advantageous to what they have to be able to spend. And he's right about that. So what I'm saying, and then he also left with the point that, people become successful and then they leave those places where they're from. And I'm just saying in a general sense, as I continue to look towards success, I have an opportunity and the option to leave if I so wanted to. And others before me have already done so. But I believe that's because there was no way to really incentivize them to stay. So I'm just saying, what is the incentive here in the Austin community, and why doesn't it exist to pull people back? I mean, and to a larger point, I really don't feel like Black Chicago is conducive to Black people feeling like this is a place for them. We used to have meccas around this city, but there's not. Those don't exist anymore. So we leave in droves because of that. So where is the incentive?
Well, let's put it this: if you don't see the incentive, it's going to be an incentive that's seen by somebody else. And I'm gonna go back to
most definitely.
I'm gonna go back to Lincoln
That's facts,
Park.
though.
I remember Lincoln Park in the 70s. There were Black communities in Lincoln Park, besides Cabrini Green.
Right.
And it just took a matter of 10 years for Lincoln Park to become gentrified. And the Blacks that were still living there couldn't afford to stay there anymore. You know, I was just thinking about my sister-in-law's where she grew up, right off of Halsted and North Avenue, or Dayton and Willow. Actually, that community, they started in the 80s, just trying to buy people out. They were just white people who walk through the community and just ask, "Hey, how much you want? I'll give you this much money for it." But those that stayed, the long haulers, like my sister-in-law's uncle, he was still there up until 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago. It was 11, maybe 12 years ago. And they had the same house. It looked the same from when they bought it, probably in the late 50s, early 60s. And but they ended up selling the house for over $700,000. They probably paid $7,000 for it.
Nice.
But but guess what? The people that bought it came in, knocked it down, and put up 4 units and sold each one of those units for over $400,000,
right.
450 each, 475 each. So they made almost $2 million.
Well,
so I mean, what do you do? They were long haulers. I mean, although his taxes had to be frozen. You know what he ended up doing? He was probably in his 80s when he passed, but he ended up having to rent one of the floors out to some white people from that wanted to live in the area.
Okay.
To pay his taxes. He still couldn't pay his taxes. Just with a freeze. So you really got to think about what gentrification means and what you like to say. What is it? Re-gentrification. Having affordable communities. I mean, why does every community have to be over $500,000? I mean, every house has to be over $500,000 in order to say this is affordable, this is safe, this has a good school in it, this has a bank and other amenities.
Well, I don't know how they did it, but somehow the people done fooled us with this thing called microeconomics.
Yeah.
And we got to go by the microeconomics of everything.
Well, I mean,
everything goes up. No price will stay the same. My thing is this. I had this conversation with my friend, and we talked about generational curses and breaking chains. And we talked about how back in the day, ain't nobody talking about who was touching who. And ain't nobody talking about them dark family secrets. But them coming out now. Them starting to come out. People, especially younger people, more willing to talk about these things that traumatically impacted their lives. What we need to start working on is breaking the generational curse of being broke, struggling, surviving. We don't live there anymore. We live in a world of abundance, especially for Black people, if we decide to take advantage of it. And if we're not teaching our children how to become economically empowered, then we're going to be in the same position. We could work together. We need each other. We should also hand down to them the idea of community and working amongst people that want to work with you.
Right.
And fighting against people that don't want to work with you. We should absolutely do that. Got to teach them how to put some money in their pocket, though. You know what I mean? Because at that point, then we can outpace the inflation that comes. If we taught a child how to invest before they become 18, by the time they're 30, they become a millionaire. Already proven, you invest your money at 18 years old in the S&P 500 due to compound interest, you will become a millionaire by the time you touch 30. And all they would have to do is invest all they would have to do is invest, I want to say $1,200 a year, and I could be off on those numbers, so don't quote me. But it's something minimal, and even if they couldn't invest $1,200 a year, that roughly translates $200 a month.
And you're making a good point.
That's it. Like we got to start.
Good point. I mean, it said
and insurance. Last thing, and insurance. And insurance. We gotta insure our lives, man. Damn, get a 30, man, like I'm 35 years old. I just had my numbers ran again. I got a policy right now for $350,000 that's gonna go to my child in the event something happens to me. Had my numbers rerun again, and my partner said they got a plan for me that's lower than what I pay now, can get $500,000. Then they ran it back. It was like, you know what? And $1 million gonna be right here. That's a 30-year term life policy. I could fuck with that. But let me finish my race first. I'm gonna keep what I got, right? You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna put $1 million because if I die, my child becomes my sole heir. She needs to be able to have something that she can build with if I'm not here. And then I'm gonna still get a whole life policy and make sure that I fund that as well. Because in event something happens to me, my family will then be okay. Like, come on, man. We got to start building good habits for our children and for the people that depend on us. Man, period. That's how we break generational curses. That's how we outplace inflation.
That poor people look at money with the aspect of to pay bills. I need money to pay bills. That's what poor people do. Middle class people look at money with the view of this is a way to make me upwardly mobile. And rich people look at money from the aspect of how do I take what I got and generate more from it? Right. How do I double it? How do I triple it?
Right.
How do I quadruple it? That's what they look at money. They ain't looking at trying to live and survive. They ain't looking at trying to be upwardly mobile. They looking at how to triple, double, quadruple, 100 times more what they have. And that's the thing. We don't look at money that way. We just look at money. Well, I got it. Might as well spend it.
Right. Right.
I worked hard for it. Yeah,
right.
Okay. Well, you're going to continue to work hard to the day you die because you ain't trying to think about the things to make it comfortable for you when you get to the point where you can want to live a better life. I mean, how many pairs of shoes you got to have? How many cars you got to have?
Man, give me white, black, brown, and blue, and red. Put it on with, man, I don't see part of it too is because we care about what another person will say. Man, I see this man in these shoes. I don't give a damn. You're gonna see him again. What you think of me don't make my decisions for me? Man, people, listen, man.
But the other thing is, you got people just like to buy because there's a product. Well, there's a product. Let's
I need
to try it out.
Oh well, consumerism is real.
You don't even need it.
Yeah, consumerism is real. We love to spend money. My grandma used to. That's why I'm fortunate because I was raised by a 66-year-old woman, and she might have been a little bit younger than that when she adopted my twin brother and I. But she was a grandma. I mean, a grandma. Grandmas feed you every morning before you go to school. So she wanted it, and at night before you go to bed. We didn't eat restaurant food. She fed us every morning, every night, and she always when she gave us money, she would always be like. When we'd be like, man, can we spend it? Damn, that little money burning a hole in your pocket. She always used to say that, man. It make you feel bad about spending your money when you got it right away. So I was fortunate, though, man. Grandma's 37 now, and she'd be like, what? God damn. You don't even know how to cook still. Shit. Grandma don't even know how to cook no more, man. Cut it out.
No.
Steve and Bill Drain. I was thinking about what y'all said, so... Two people move out once they get money, they leave the community. I left the community because my job was in the suburbs and it was like an hour there, an hour home.
That's too much.
At one time it was 2 hours back to the city. So it was more convenient for me to move to the suburbs because it was close to my job. And what's bothering me the most, it's not justification is only happy because we have these properties that our parents left us, grandparents left us, and we don't want to keep it up. We want to sell it. They worked hard for these properties.
Man.
And we so quick to sell them instead of just building them up, maintaining them. But we were selling for $1. I mean, we are not mindset for having generational wealth. right? That property is so much, but the person that don't have that mindset, looking at dollars and how much money they can make it. But our parents and grandparents work really hard for these properties, and we'll send them at a drop of a hat for a couple of dollars, because they don't know the value of that property.
Yeah.
So that's why we losing it. And gentrification is just not happening because they're coming in. It's because we're giving them the property.
Right.
We're not maintaining our property. We're not trying to keep our property. And we're not trying to even keep it in the family. If you can't do it, say, rent the property out to somebody if you don't, just to have the income from it if you don't want to live there. But don't sell it all the time so quickly. Like she was just saying, the person died and her son, right away want to sell a house.
Right.
Rent it out. You know what I'm saying? But we so quick to give up our property, and then we holler, they moving in there. No, a lot of them we handed over to them.
Yeah, because they're not educated in the idea of creating a legacy and creating sustainability. It's a lot to it. You can look at it from both ends of the spectrum. A person that really doesn't have a lot going on, they inherit a property, and they probably weren't working, or if they were working, they were making minimum wage, if that, and now they get a property, and they're saying, okay, what do I do? Should I take a big bulk of money and go live in an apartment, or should I take and keep the property and maintain it and make this an investment? Most of the time, they're gonna say take the big bulk of money so they can go live in an apartment and pay more bills.
Crazy.
Without investing in themselves.
Crazy.
And then they'll be right back to square zero, ground one, what they say, level one again, starting around, looking for a help up, a hand up, because all that money gonna disappear because they didn't invest back into themselves. And then you got the other person that's like, okay, I got a good job, I make good money, I don't want to stay there. I think I deserve to live better and want to have better things because I'm working every day. And then they inherit the property, and they were like, well, I don't even want that because I don't want to step down.
You know what's crazy? Carter G. Woodson wrote a book about this in 1933, entitled The Miseducation of the Negro.
Mm-hmm.
And we still miseducated till today.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We talking generational curses. That is the curse that needs to be broken. This undereducated, underutilized understanding, or our underrealized understanding of business, finances in general, and what it means to own anything in this country, which makes you a part of essentially the elite. The elite own in this country, period. Now, I understand that the topmost individuals in this country own more than others, but you have to be of a certain status in and of itself to own anything. And we don't understand what ownership brings here.
Right. We don't. We've lost the concept. And I think eventually America's going to end up being like England. In England, you can't own anything. You can't own a house or a property. You only have a 100-year lease on it, and in 100 years, if it's not switched over to an heir for another 100 years, the country gets it back. So people are just.
So I want to put something on the table to go with the property tax / housing conversations that should become a regular.
Yeah.
Is a co-op in Austin.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out there, for us to kind of have that conversation later on after 28.
Yeah.
A co-op in Austin. That's where we start. And that and the beginning of that is even with education and research, but give us a little feel for here's what it feels like.
Right.
To have some ownership in a community property.
So
I agree.
28. I just want to throw that out there with the property tax thing, because I think it's two good pieces, and I can't wait to see, because I think this, I can see this, I feel it. This thing's gonna keep rolling.
You got Barry on the line. Barry used to work with Mike Strode with the koala nut co-op. I can't think, maybe cooperative. I can't think of the last piece. But Mike Strode was doing a lot of work around cooperative owning, especially on the south side, I believe. And I know that was part of when I reconnected with Barry. Mike Strode was a part of some of those conversations. I think even some of those conversations was about co-op. And I'll say this before I let you go, Barry. I told Steve some time ago, I was like, it's an area of Hubbard near Cicero. It's just west of Cicero. So it is Austin. And it's a really small strip. It's like a T street. So it's small over there. It looks terrible. But I was like, man, this is the type of area where if we were to purchase all the homes on this street, or at least we buy half of the street and force the other people that don't want to take care of their stuff out, and we buy them, I'm talking about the collective, we put our money together and we bought those homes, then we could set our own narratives for buying. So you have to be included in this way. You have to be a part of this block club, this, that, and the third thing, and create not a gated community, because obviously it would be open, but we can create a small community. And I thought that something like that is very doable, because all you got to do is take all of the equity earned from building up these properties and pool those resources together, and then pool those resources together and then purchase the other pieces of property. And as those properties keep going up, you continue to pool all of the resources gained from the equity, and then you can start to do other things. But you got to do it together. Collaboration has to be at the forefront of any discussion as it relates to advancing the community. That's the only way we're gonna do anything. Ain't no such thing as ain't no one man finna save anything in any community, because most of these people that think they can't, because they don't even have what it takes to. And I've been around a lot of people, and I don't think so. So,
well, let's think about that. We need to look at those types of collaborations. We need to look at co-ops, as Mary said. We need to look at land trust. We need to look at what's the bank they're trying to do in Austin? The network.
The Laramie State Bank, but credit union.
Credit union.
Oh, I'm a proponent of credit union. Can't wait till it comes.
And we definitely need to look at how we can collaborate to reinvest into what we already have. It just struck me that, we're talking about Black communities and people losing properties, but I know of at least 3 white people that lost their properties, and I had to think of, why did they lose them? Well, it's because the younger people that took over the properties just didn't reinvest in. They didn't reinvest in them to themselves. I mean, they just stayed there and said, "Well, Grandma left it to Mom, and Mom passed away, so now we got it, and here we are in our 30s or 20, late 20s. Well, no, these guys were probably 36 at the most." And I'm thinking, how do you lose a property and you're young and you're white? You could have used your privilege to get a loan or something, Somebody would have leveraged some money to you, but they just lost it.
Yeah.
And that's not just one white family I know. I know of 2 others. I was like, what's going on with this? But again, it's younger people that I'm seeing. They're not. I don't know how to put it.
I mean, you're not prepared for it in some respects, But that's the whole thing about it is not. You can't just leave somebody something at the end.
Mary mentioned co-ops. And you mentioned my name?
Well, yeah, Mike Strode, because I know you were connected to Mike Strode, who was with the Koala Nut Corporate Collaborative.
Yeah.
So I brought you up because I was saying, I thought that was something that was I don't want to call it a mission of yours, but I know that was something that you was working with or on or something like that. collaborative, or you had some information about different collaboratives. I think you mentioned the one in Denver or something, right?
Well, Mary, you had mentioned co-ops, and it seems to me, no matter what we say tonight, we need to be having an ongoing conversation about developing a co-op or co-ops. And so it seems to me the first step is my asking Mary, Mary, are you interested in it, in getting into it more deeply, or is it just something that crossed your mind and you're not particularly interested in it?
No, I like the concept of co-ops, and but I know it's an education process. You know, we have to start at square one. When I say we, I'm a part of the community that need to be educated on it. I've seen it. I've seen it. You know, we've seen them in certain communities within the city of Chicago, but there's a whole lot of work that's behind what we now, you know, what is evidence of the work. And actually, in the Sugar Beach, that little spot over there. Yeah, and I believe we could do something like that. But I know that, you know, there's a starting point, and then there has to be a community buy-in and a commitment and all of that stuff in order for it to work. And so I think it's conversation that would attract a lot of, you know, millennials and others out there, because, you know, I'm a boomer now, and so, you know, and that's one of the roads that could lead to building a stronger community to make us more attractive in terms of, hey, here's why you want to move to Austin and raise a family. So
yeah.
Well, it seems to me that there is, it will serve us better if we think about the tremendous opportunity there is on the west side of Chicago. And how can we start projects to begin to tap into that potential? But any project isn't going to happen in an hour's conversation.
Right, for sure.
It's just, you know, who wants to be part of the conversation? And then we take next steps. So I, for one, am very interested. Mary, if you're interested, you know, I'll keep that in mind. And as soon as we can find another person or two or three, we can start having some meetings about it, you know, online or over the phone to move it forward.
Well,
no problem. Yep.
So, Mary, you're interested, right?
Oh, definitely. I think that definitely. Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? I'm just curious. Anybody else interested in that topic?
I will be very, Barbara.
Oh, Barbara, great.
I'm sure a lot of people will be interested.
One question I would have, Barbara, is, you know, rebuild Black Wall Street. Can you imagine a co-op being part of that?
Well, Barry, let me say this. You're saying will people be interested in? I could say, well, will people be interested in thermonuclear fission? You know, it sounds great, but most people wouldn't know what that is. So in order to have an appeal, you have to be able to define, disseminate, and give direction on what you're trying to present.
Well, co-op is a form of ownership where the people who are benefiting from it, kind of like a credit union, the people who are benefiting are the cooks. In other words, people who are eating the meal are the people who are cooking and preparing the meal. That's, I think, the essence of what a co-op is.
Mm-hmm.
But
And one thing the first thing that comes to my mind is the Cleveland model. But that would take a minute or two for me to describe that.
so you just gave a generic term of it. Now you have to give a term that's more appealing and appeasing to people right now, right here.
All right. Well, it can range from a babysitting co-op at its very simplest form to something like I think Mary mentioned sugar beet co-op, which is a new, relatively, I think it started 4 years ago or so, co-op at right near the corner of Madison and Oak Park Avenue in Oak Park. And then there is something much more ambitious called the Cleveland model, where there's a co-op that became or maybe they did a not-for-profit first. I don't recall. But what they did is they got contracts with 3 or 4 major institutions in the neighborhood. And they then used the contract to start cooperative businesses where the workers lived in the community and produced in one case it was a commercial greenhouse. Another case was a commercial laundry. And so these 2 cooperative businesses had contracts with 4 major institutions that were local to provide laundry and food for these institutions. And the people who did the work lived in the community. So it helped the institutions because they were right, these facilities were right near the institution, which helped it become a safer blocks. So there'd be less crime around the institutions. So so we can range from simple like a babysitting co-op to like a food store to a major, having contracts with major institutions.
So,
and we can then tie that to doing housing, infill housing with container homes.
Now this is Jacob. I like that idea of container homes because, as you know, I have a lot, and I've been thinking and been talking to people about it, but nobody seems to understand or know how to go about it or where you get the money to do it.
Yeah.
Because that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think for all of this stuff, we're better off assembling a small group of people who are interested in this topic, and we see or something that would be a solution. And it's harder to do it on just a single lot.
You know what I was thinking about, Steve or Young, when Mars Hill brought all their properties over there on Lake Street, was that like a co-op? Remember all them houses Mars Hill owned? That whole block pretty much.
right.
From Austin and Lake Street all the way to like Lakeville.
Yeah, I don't know if
they own all of that.
I don't know if they still own it.
On that property,
I don't know if they're renting.
So, but they did. They came together and bought all that property.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you talking about the church, right? Marcel's church.
They moved out to McCook. But I don't know if they're renting the church and the property was there. There was the old St.
That's a good point.
St. Lucie School.
The church away to another church. There's another church site that they actually gifted. I went there last Christmas. They gifted it to another church.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like a co-op, like what DeAndre said on Comfort. That's pretty much what Mars Hill did. They owned that whole block.
Right. Well,
there are all kinds of ways we could go about it. But the first question is, is this just chit chat? Another conversation that,
But you got to look at.
Or do we want to do something on an ongoing basis?
You got to look at society as a whole. Okay, in order to have these let's just say complementing co-ops, you would need people that are like-minded and trying to go towards a similar goal. So what really motivates people to do things? Children. So if people are having kids, they tend to be motivated to want to have a house, want to have a good community, want to have stores, banks, hospitals, all the things that DeAndre said makes up a community. But you have to think about that. In this day and age, and it's been going on for the last 30 years or more, people are not wanting to have children anymore. And it's obvious because numbers across the boards have been dropping. Now, do you have a group of people that just want to live in homes and own a big house and have, like DeAndre said, but he has a daughter and a significant other. But do you have individuals that just want to do that? Most people of a certain age, they don't want to tie themselves down to properties like that. They want to travel because the world is smaller now. They want to have things that they've never had before. They want to do things. They really don't. I was looking at a program today. A girl in New York's literally living in a 7-foot by 10-foot space. Not even 10 feet. It was 7 by 9. And her bathroom was out like a communal bathroom, but it was only hers out in the hallway. And she had where she slept, there was only 12 inches between the ceiling and her head, And she said, I'd rather do this, live in this place and pay $650 a month than to live in the place I had before where I was paying almost $5,000 a month, but I had all the amenities that came with it, but she felt tied down. She said,
I will say for younger people, the movement is essential. Young people don't want to be tied down.
Right.
I mean, to the fact that the mobile homes are, the thing. In fact, mobile home investing has started to take off. People are starting to look at mobile homes as real investments in order to sell to other people. So, younger people don't want to get tied down at all.
I want to venture to say that I was thinking about storage units. I want to say storage units are probably owned by baby boomers on back up until Gen X probably. Mm-hmm. Because those are the ages where people think they got to hold on to everything and get more stuff. I need stuff. And you got so much stuff, you put it in the storage and you're not even using it.
Man, listen.
It's like, why do you have to have all of this? But in their minds, it's what life is about.
I prefer minimalist lifestyle. Literally, if I could, man, I'd buy 14 black t-shirts, 14 black pair of pants, and just buy different color shoes. I don't care. Like I'm straight like that. Like I would be okay living like that.
Because he would do it now. What's stopping him from doing it now?
I do.
You lying, babe.
I do. Look. What? Look. I wear my own stuff. You don't never. I wear my own stuff. I wear my own stuff. All the time. You see me in my own stuff.
You gotta have a good suit here and there.
I got some. Maybe. You probably only need 5. I'm on my Steve Harvey. This is the little. Instagram thing where Steve Harvey said you only need 5 suits. You need a gray one, a blue one, a cream one, a brown one, and a black one. And he said, then you go get you 5 different color shirts, a white, a black, a teal, or something. And then you say you could mix and match them 5 suits, and you come up with, what did he say, 76 combinations.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's true. But I mean, people just buy what they see.
Right.
And, I seen it on HSN or whatever. I seen it on QVC. They said I needed it. Yeah, I guess.
Right.
That's the way you live in life. Based on what people tell you need. But again, I say that because you have to have a certain thought. And what used to keep us common was religion, and religion ain't the thing no more.
Right.
People are not, you don't see people following it. So now you lost that commonality. So what's the next level? Okay, people wanted to be educated. Well, that ain't happening because it's already been pushed that why am I going to spend all this money to go to college when I can make the same amount of money anyway, doing something less.
Right.
And again, that mindset is all over the place.
Yeah.
I still tend to think in certain fields you do have to have a college education.
Yeah. I think you should only go to school if you're gonna become a specialist. That's just me.
In some cases, it comes to some cases.
I don't think you should. I don't. School overrated. If you're gonna ask me, school is overrated unless you're going to school for a specialty.
It's overrated, but it's not rated enough to get the people that we need in the trades.
Trades still exceptional. I wish people would go and get trades. I wish. I 100% wish. But beyond that, I'm just saying, like, I don't think people should be going to school to get bachelor degrees in business anymore. No. Not if you not with the way the world's set up. Go start a business. You can learn more. Right. You want to go to school for business? All you're gonna learn how to do is handle paperwork. Right. You're gonna be
learn the clerical part.
Yeah, you're gonna learn a lot of clerical stuff. That's fine. I mean, then as you progress, you start learning more stuff, strategy, and again, like microeconomics that I'm speaking about. Those things are important too. But you could fumble your way around that for years and figure that out. Right. But I think the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, specialties, go to school for that, for sure. That's a whole nother topic for another time, though. Look, we right up at the 8:00 hour. I got to get up out of here because I got to write this paper. I got 2 more classes, 2 more assignments left before I am PhD ABD. So I want to go ahead and shift over to the Zoom and start to take us on out with some final thoughts. I see you, Barry. You up.
All right. Well, my final thoughts are, first of all, wish you well on them papers and all of that. It's just always a pleasure to chop it up, as y'all say. Always a pleasure. Listen, it's all about communication and having a vision, and don't be afraid to walk by faith.
That's facts. Thank you, Mary. Now, Barry. Got Mary, now Barry. Oh, yeah, thank you.
Hey, Mary. I'm glad to hear you mention vision and co-ops in the same short period. So it seems to me that if we were in the business of owning something like the Chicago Trib or a television network, it would matter what the general population was about, whether it's young people or old people. But it seems to me in community work, we need to focus on what the opportunities are on the West Side and what projects can we move ahead. And to move any project ahead, we're talking about long-term, one conversation after another, where each conversation builds the vision. And without doing that, I don't think we can make progress. But it's not for everyone. So it seems to me the main task is who wants to build something worth building.
Yeah.
Building,
go.
Building
I
up, building,
hear Mary is interested and Barbara is interested.
building always.
So that's a great story.
Yeah, building comes with a need and an idea, then a plan and a concept, and then a construction.
And we can do all of that. It's just taking one step after another, just figuring it out.
All right. How about you, Barbara?
I totally agree because I've been in the stages like I said, I'm really focused on like building and investing because like I said, I have my 5-year plan out of retiring and I'm just trying to figure things out. And so I was just talking to my niece who's a real estate broker and we were talking about family property, right? For generational wealth. So we were just talking about that. So I'm really interested about the co-op and where it's going because I'm already there thinking that and I'm already talking to someone about my immediate family about us doing it as a family. So I'm really about that. And like you said, if we get a co-op, that'd be even better on the west side and give us something to look forward that we could build from the ground up on the west side and give people more incentive to stay on the west side and build it up and keep stuff going there. I think that would be a good idea. So I'm really interested in that.
And Barbara, do you have any person or two who could join the conversation? And the same question to Mary.
Well, like I said, I'm looking at it from to get a better understanding of what this co-op will look like because I have talked to someone that was in a co-op on the south side, which was the same, and they just sold their co-op, which was a lie because it was like a 142 unit building, so it was a co-op, right? And
really?
They just sold it. Yeah, they just sold it, right? And so there was a lot of, because they had percentages of how much people get it. So I do understand a little of the co-op because I had been talking to her. I'm like, well, we can't do that because I was talking like, man, that'd be nice to do. But you just got to, like you said, you just got to have a conversation and see who's interested and who who really want to do it. It's a long-term thing, so it's not a short-term solution, right? You have to be in it for the long haul, and a lot of people don't want to do that. And I'm the type of person, I don't just dump this stuff and think it's going to get a fast turnaround. It's going to have to be a long haul project, right? So that's how I think. I think for the long haul.
And do you have anybody that you can invite to the conversation, Barbara?
Yeah, I do.
And what about you, Mary? Mary is.
Yeah, I'm still here. I do, but I know that they're trying to sign off, so I don't want to take up any.
Okay.
Barry, you should map it all out.
Let's have a separate conversation.
Thank y'all. Ms. Jacobs.
Closing thoughts, Ms. J.
Do you hear me?
There you go.
Do you hear me?
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just 3 things, and I'm out.
All right.
Numbers count.
Facts.
Faith, vision is the 3 key things, and we have to stay with that to make it happen.
All right, then, Ms.
That's
Jacobs.
my point for tonight.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Miss Houston, Ella.
Hey, well, I'm still a little stuck on how stupid we as black people are giving away our birthright for a few measly dollars, and we won't have none left in a couple of years because we're going to blow it all. So I'm still upset about that, so. But
Good conversation, y'all. And we're gonna need a mortgage to get a second mortgage to pay off our taxes if they keep raising them.
Yeah,
We're gonna continue this tax thing. We are.
All right. Felicia. Felicia. Okay. She might be asleep. And I know you came in late, but Mr. Guala, did you want to say something? You want to impart some wisdom?
Yeah. So I just want to say, every time I get on, you guys are like literally talking about finance. I think that's so key, and that's something maybe you guys should have like a segment where you just bring some different ideas on bringing in income. I heard the older woman mentioned that she would like to do like the container homes. I think that's a great idea, but I also think there's just so many things right now that the internet gives us access to that, with a little effort, if you want to learn Google or any of those things, you could definitely start making some income because, for seniors, they're not going to protect you. If you think they're going to lower, the property taxes, they want you out. They're gonna push you out. They know you are on a fixed income. And right now, especially headed to the year 2023, where the markets has been up and down, it is time to learn an income producing skill. If you can learn how to work the Zoom and get on and things of that nature, then you can definitely use your phone to learn how to make money in the year 2023 and create some passive income for yourself. Like I mentioned last week, one of the things you can do, you can literally go out, start a business, you rent a car, and then let somebody else drive it for you. Create your car rental business if you want to. There's so many things you can do. That's just one. If you guys are interested in learning more, about finance, let's talk it up. Like I said, reach out to DeAndre. We can put a forum on, and we can talk about different ideas that you can utilize that will, start to bring you in maybe $100, $200 a month, but then it'll create an upward snowball. Year 2023. Let's really get serious about making money and keeping it. That's it. That's all I got to say.
You know what? That was key because we was doing the making money for millennials and other uh, situation.
Before the pandemic.
Yeah, pre-pandemic, we was doing that a couple times a month. So now that things have kind of gotten back to the way they were, we could actually reintroduce those and have a lot more topics, including how to make money in the year 2023. I think that would be a great way to kick off 2023. So we just got to nail down a date. I think somewhere in February will be good, only because we'd be right up against the end. Well, probably March. March. We wait, get all the election stuff out the way, but kick off March with something like that. Another thing that I like to do, that I would love to do with the money making for millennials things, is I always create a vision board every year. I think that would be dope to have a vision board party. Y'all, vision came up a couple times. I don't think we do vision boards in the community. I got one. I look at it every single day, and I think it really reinforces who and what I'm trying to become. Definitely want to do that for the money making millennials.
No. We got to start having business showers in our communities. Black people need to start having business showers.
I think we
having babies anymore. Let's start creating business showers. You don't want a baby, create a business. Let the business be your baby. Raise and nurture and grow your baby. Let's have business showers. Let's do that. Year 2023. Let's have business showers. Everybody. Let's get our EINs. $75. Let's start some articles of incorporation. It's $150, $225 to get you a business. In 3 to 6 months, you go get you a $50,000 loan from these people that's willing to give you some money.
Oh man, you trying to set these people up for some debt, man.
man.
Yeah, you know what he talking about. He trying to set these people up for some debt, man.
It sounds like he want to. He sound like he want to be the Nick Cannon of business.
Oh man, he finna set these people up to go get these credits and be fucked up, man. Go ahead, Steve.
No, he is right. We do need to own something, so why not invest?
Gotta have ownership for sure,
somewhere in some level. I just want to say thanks to everybody for coming on. We do have to continue this conversation because it's direct to the point of what we're dealing with every day. It's gonna be here next week. It's gonna be here next year, but we gotta see how we fit into this puzzle. Because if we don't figure out where we fit in this puzzle, we're gonna be left out on the floor. And
so for me, like I say, man, as y'all know, I'm running for this 15th district, this 15th police district. I'm happy to be able to sit and be available for the 17th, so that I and other candidates can tell y'all who we are and also what we plan to do while we sit on these councils and how this should make the community a better, more livable place as we work to build these and establish better relationships with the Chicago Police Department. The following day on the 18th, I have my first fundraiser coming up. That'll be at 5901 West Race, Apartment 2. That's a cookies and cream. So come on out and have some fun with me. I'm looking forward to becoming one of those foundational members of this newly elected district council because I think it's great. It'll be great if we start off on the right foot. So if you would love to come join me, please do so. If you can't join me, you can always figure out how to support at DeAndreRudis.com/DC15. That is my name. My name is my name everywhere. So if you can help, please do. If you can come out, I'd like to see you. That being said, we do this thing every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. We have various ways that you can interact with the show. We got the Facebook, the YouTube, and the Zoom. You just choose the viewing option best for you. Hopefully, we can get a guest up in the building. When we come back to this taxes piece, love to have Fritz Cahey, and see what he's talking about. But like Mary said, we don't want no double talk. We don't try to get him up in here and talk straight to us. Let us know what's going on. But anyway, tune in for that because that's going to come. And tune in every Sunday from 6 to 8 to watch us and listen to us as we build community and talk about these issues that are affecting us and hopefully have the right people in places so that we can start to take action on the issues that affect us. With that being said, as I always like to say in closing, we have open seats at the table. All we're trying to do is welcome y'all home. Thank y'all for allowing us to welcome you to Northwest Austin Council. Have a good night.
Good night, all.
Bye.
Good night, bye.
Man, let me see.